Zuri grew up seeing hope in her mother's eyes, the kind of hope born from generations who survived storms in silence. Her mother always told her, "Hold your head high, but keep your heart low to the ground." Zuri learned the weight of those words walking the narrow streets of Harlem, where her skin color spoke louder than anything she ever said. When she was 12, her history teacher once said, "It must be easier for you to understand slavery. It's in your blood." The laughter of her classmates echoed louder than the words themselves. In that moment, Zuri learned how to stay quiet, but inside, something loud and burning began to grow. She found comfort in watching her father return home from work every evening, tired but proud. He drove a garbage truck, but to Zuri, he walked like a king. One day, on his way back from the grocery store, police officers pulled him over. Zuri pressed her face against the window as she watched. She didn't hear the gunshot, but she still hears her mother scream, "Oh my God," to this day. They said her father was shot by mistake, but Zuri knew that in her world, mistakes often wore a uniform and carried a badge. At the funeral, a white pastor said, "God delivers justice," but Zuri wondered if God ever visited their neighborhood at all. In high school, Zuri decided to reclaim her voice. Her literature teacher handed her a book of Maya Angelou's poetry. The words struck something deep. "Do you know why the caged bird sings, Zuri?" the teacher asked. "Because it dreams of freedom." Zuri started to write. Her words, scrawled into a worn notebook each night, were sharp as bullets and soft as prayers. Her first article published in the school paper read, "A child's skin should never decide her fate." The piece sparked a reaction. Some teachers praised her courage, others called her too emotional, but Zuri wasn't trying to stir drama, she was simply telling the truth. And the truth, she realized, made many people uncomfortable. One day after school, 3 boys cornered her and said, "What are you doing here? Go back to where you belong." This time, Zuri didn't run. She looked them in the eyes and said, "This is my country too." The next morning, "Not trash" was spray-painted across the school wall. The principal dismissed it as a joke, saying, "Kids do silly things." But those words weren't silly. They were carved into Zuri's soul. When she got accepted into college, a journalist interviewed her. "As a young black girl, how did you succeed?" they asked. Zuri smiled, even though she hated the question. Why was success surprising just because of her skin? "I just stayed true to who I am," she said, "and that should have been enough." Later, a racial justice protest erupted in her city. Zuri stood in the middle of the crowd, grabbed the megaphone, and spoke. "My name is Zuri. I am not just black. I am a daughter, a writer, a human being. Every morning I wake up and fight against the limits this world tries to place on me. I just want to live, to breathe, to be loved." The crowd fell silent. Zuri's voice wasn't just hers anymore, it echoed generations of pain, dignity, and survival. Years passed. Zuri wrote a book called Silent Cry. It spread across the country. In interviews, they called her an inspiration. But she always corrected them, "I'm not an inspiration, I'm a reality." Zuri's story was never just her own. It was the story of many who'd been silenced, judged, erased. Racial injustice isn't just a news headline, it's a daily chapter in many lives. But Zuri carved her name into history, not as a victim, but as a survivor, a fighter, a voice. Because sometimes one voice is enough to shatter a chain.